Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Whitefish, Montana. And today is Tuesday, therefore it is Kit Together Tuesday. And it's right before the holiday, so therefore you don't have time to make Christmas cards anymore. If you don't have them in the mail, they're probably going to be New Year's cards at this point. So what I wanted to do is, because it's the end of the year and a new year is beginning, that means we have birthdays starting all over again. So do you have your birthday cards ready to go, at least for January? I used to, and I'm working my way back into it, prepare my birthday cards a month in advance for the next month and have them already addressed and stamped, not necessarily written in just in case life happens and I want to add a little note, but I'll have them stamped and addressed and ready to go, so that when it gets close to their birthday, within a week of their birthday, I can quickly write my note on the inside, pop it in the mail, and we're ready to go. So I thought I would do a birthday kit today, because maybe you don't remember seeing this one. I did a couple cards out of it months ago when it first came out. So I thought, let's revisit this kit, and I'm going to show you some ways to either extend the kit if you just want to buy one kit and have a whole lot of birthday cards out of it, or if you want to maybe dress those cards up a little bit and add a little fun fold to it. So I'm going to show you how to extend, and I'm going to show you a fun fold or two. So let's switch. Here we go. So kits are all inclusive, therefore everything that you need to make the cards as designed are in the box. All you have to do is add a pair of scissors. Now I'm going to be adding in my trimmer because we're going to be doing some extensions of the kit, as I call it, and making them spread out further. So let's talk about that when we get to that point. Let's, for now, open it up, check out this kit. So this is the Birthday Fancy Kit. All right, and I did a couple cards out of it a while back ago, and I'm not even sure where those are, so we're just going to make a few more out of here, and then I'm going to show you some of the extras that we can do with it. So it shows 12 cards on here, so there's 12 card bases, but you don't have to do exactly what they've done. In the instructions, they've shown you, let's see, 3 different cards that you can do with this kit. All right, and I think those are the 3 that we did on a live a few months ago when it first came out. It is in stock currently. I double checked before I chose this kit today to do for you. And so it is currently in stock as of today. For me is the 18th of December. So you'll be seeing this the Tuesday after that, and it is in stock. So it's a great way because it's 12 cards and you have a lot of leftovers, and that's why I'm going to show you the extension. You have a lot of leftovers of the ephemera. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to hang on to this because we're going to do a couple cards off of here. So if you don't want to have to think of extras, if you don't want to have to come up with your own, just copy these 12 cards and then you'll have some extras as well to play with. So we have our stamp set, photopolymer stamp set, which says sweetest birthday wishes, let's eat cake, happiest birthday, sending you happy birthday wishes, for you, time to celebrate, and wishing you another year as sweet as you. All right, so those are our stamps. And then we have our Lost Lagoon stamp spot. And I'm going to, of course, bring in my regular size pad because I use these in my giveaways and in my odds and ends box. All right, so we'll do that. Then we have all our different adhesives. We have our Tear and Tape. We have some great sized glue dots. I love it when we get some big ones in there. And then we have a whole big old sheet of dimensionals. All right, this tells you you're going to be doing a lot of dimensionalizing. Oh, it's starting to snow. Now, if only it will stick. All right, so then we have our block. Totally lost that word. Oh, I was gonna glue two of them together real quick for you. I talked about it last week. Let me see if I can find the other one. Yeah. So we did this card last week on Thursday, those botanicals. And so I wanted to go ahead and get two out. This time I'm going to make sure they're going in the right direction because that really disturbed me. So this time the Stampin' Up, I don't know if you, there you go. The Stampin' Up is going in the same direction. I want to make sure not to have anything in between these. And then we're going to take our Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm going to do it just around the outside edge. And I don't know if you can see that well enough, but we'll try zooming in and see whether that helps. Probably not. I wonder if it'll show better on here. Yeah, there you can see those little lines. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go here. And then we're going to go this way. I really like having these two stuck together. It just makes it easier to use them. So I'm just doing around the outside edge because I want to be able to see my Stampin' here. And then I want to make sure there's my Stampin' Up. Make sure it's going in the same direction. All right, and then line it up because once it's stuck down, it's stuck down. So you want to make sure to line it up. And there you go. Now you have one that is wide like that so you can grip it. And I've got it going in the same direction this time. The last one I did, I had them upside down. So not really a big deal, not a game changer or a deal breaker. All right, so we're going to hang on to this because we want it close for the stamping. And then we're going to pull out, and I'm going to do 5 cards. And you can see I got lots of leftover stuff in here. It's actually 2 kits together because I had used it as a make and take at my retreat in January. So it's been out for a few months. It's gone in stock and out of stock, but it's such a great set. So let's go ahead and zoom back out to a reasonable distance for you. All right, and let's start with our first card. All right, and already, actually, let's do this one because this one I'm not altering. So I don't want to start with an altering one. Let's start with a kit right out of the box. All right, I have no idea where my bone folder is. I don't know what I did with it. So I'm just going to use my thumbnail. So this card is going to go this way. We're making this one right down here. All right, right down there is the one we're going to do. So, all right, so first thing, we're going to glue this little strip down here, and we're going to use our tear and tape. Doop. All right, and you can either put the glue on here or you can put the adhesive on here. The choice is yours. Doesn't really matter which way. Tell me, what's your favorite adhesive? Do you like the tear and tape? Do you prefer the green glue? Do you like the Stampin' Seal or the Stampin' Seal Plus? I find the Stampin' Seal Plus is good for like gluing the blocks together, any sort of heavy duty, you really want it to stick gluing. But when I use it on regular paper, sometimes it pulls up that paper. So if you're using the Stampin' Seal Plus, which is originally designed for 3D kind of projects, you want to make sure you're going careful and slow because otherwise you can pull up that paper to follow it. And that's no fun. No fun at all. All right, and then this one, we're going to put that on dimensionals. And we have a big old sheet of dimensionals right here for us. So let's use them. So I want to make sure my bottom is stable. my cake stand. And then we'll have, oh, I don't know, I'm just kind of zigzag it across there just to make sure that it is not droopy at any point in time. All right, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and take those off. So tell me, what is your favorite cake? Tell me, what kind do you like? Yellow cake, chocolate cake, white cake, what else is there? German chocolate cake, red velvet cake. What's your favorite kind of cake? I myself like yellow cake. As a gluten-free person, I don't get to eat cake as much because I don't bake very much. So I miss cake. And if I'm going to cheat and have some wheat, often it's going to be on a piece of cake or cheesecake. I also like cheesecake. And I like my yellow frosting, or I like my yellow cake with, I don't know, my husband likes white cake with chocolate frosting. I also love carrot cake with the buttercream icing or cream cheese icing. I love cream cheese icing. My husband likes the whipped cream icing. My son likes the whipped cream icing. Yeah, now I'm really getting a craving for cake and I can't even do anything about it. How about you? Tell me, what kind of cake do you like? And is talking about cake making you want to run out and get cake? All right, so this one is a let's eat cake. Well, how appropriate, because we were talking about that and I hadn't even noticed what it was. So let's eat cake. All right, we want to kind of get the stickiness off of it. I like to use, again, my fingers to kind of get the stickiness off of it. We're going to use the Lost Lagoon. That's the color ink spot that came with it. So we're going to go ahead and use that. And we want to just kind of test it. Oh, yes. Nice and thin. If you squish too hard and press too hard, then it's not going to come out nice and thin. It's going to come out kind of fat and uneven. So this is, let's see, over here, kind of in the middle. So I do press firm and I run my finger over it, but I don't press down with all of my weight. I catch people doing that a lot, and that is going to change your font because it's going to make it look squished and fattened. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to be sticking this under here and having this across here. So we need to put some dimensional here and probably a little dot of glue right there. So we'll do a dimensional. Where did we want that? We wanted that. So under the word let's is a good place for that. And then I'm just going to use one of those glue dots. And yeah, I'm using my fingers. I know. I've got some nails, so I can. Now that I say that, it doesn't want to come off. Isn't that how that works? I totally jinxed myself. There we go. All right, so we're going to stick this under here and lay it across like that. All right. And there is done. It's done. That's it. That is the simplicity of this card set. It was all those cakes together. You didn't have to do them individually. They do have these cakes in here individually, but you can use them however you want. So this one is done. Let's see. We want to do something on the inside. Here we go. Wishing you. We'll do that on the inside. So with birthday cards, I do like to have something on the inside. And sometimes I will wait to stamp before I send it. And other times I will just go ahead, like today, let's eat cake. And then wishing you another year as sweet as you. It's perfect. It'll work for pretty much anybody that you're sending it to or handing it to. So wishing you, and I like to just test it. There we go. And I'm just going to put it over here. There we go. And then you could also go into your box of goodies and find something for the inside. All right, so let's see. I've got lots here. I'm going to go ahead and stick, let's see. I was going to say I'll stick a little macaroon, but then that's not really in line with things. All right, we're going to do this one, this strawberry cake. Is that one on the front? That one's not on the front, so we'll do that one on the inside. And I'm going to go ahead and use a dab of glue. All right, because that will just make it faster. Let's see if I've got, oh, I do got a dab of glue. Wasn't sure if it was going to work for me, but it did. All right, and you don't need to cover it solidly. All right, we can put that over here on this side. There we go. And now we have that cake because there's, like I said, there's lots of extras in there. So there we have that card finished and complete. So there's card 1 already. And we are, I mean, we're 16 minutes in, but I did a lot of talking at first. So that was a quick card. Let's see what we can do with another card. Let's see. I'm kind of looking to see which one did I grab. All right, so not that one yet, not that one. All right, we're going to do this one. So we're going to just alter this just a little bit to spruce it up. No fun folding yet, just a simple deal. You can use whatever color you have. If you only have the Lost Lagoon that comes in the kit, you could totally do that on this. I am going to use the Petal Pink. That's the pink that's on here. And what we're going to do is the sentiment is Sweetest Birthday Wishes. Oop. All right, now that's kind of big for that. Here we go. Sweetest Birthday Wishes. Stamp it, make sure, yep. Oh, huh. All right. We want to stamp that in the darker one, mind you. On here, that's the sentiment. But for dressing up the card, we're going to clean that off and we're going to use our Petal Pink. And we're going to do a little technique where we are only inking the birthday wishes. All right, so I'm going to bring this up here and we're only going to ink the birthday wishes. And I'm kind of rocking it side to side to make sure it gets inked. And on this card, it is this card right here. Oops, here we go. That card right there, which I know is hard to see. We're going to have this right here. So I want to make sure my birthday wishes is going to show. So I'm going to re-ink that. And I'm going to do a birthday wishes up here. And I'm going to stamp it right there in the white. Let me see if I can get you a little bit closer. There we go. And then I'm going to re-ink this. And you can see I just kind of tip it forward. And I'm just inking the birthday wishes. And now I'm going to skip a white line and go down over here. If it's not perfectly straight, don't panic, don't worry. They're not going to look that close. So I know this one's going to be right there. So I do want something to show over here. So I'm kind of going every other white line at this point. And I don't want them all lined up. You could line them all up if you wanted to, but I personally don't want to. So I'm going to do that right there. You could do it all the way across the lines if you wanted to. All right, so this is going to go right about here. It's covering part of it, but it can see most of it. All right, now this one ended up not getting seen at all. And since it's going to be covered, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And that way, the wishes at least are showing up. All right. There we go. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add one right here. Oop, I got that a little bit high. There we go. And maybe I'll put one right there, just so that it's kind of seen. All right, so we'll put this ink away, and we'll go ahead and we're going to glue this down. And I'm just going to, because it's just that much quick and easier for me, I'm going to use this instead of the tear and tape. Because you all know, if you've been watching me for a while, you know this is my favorite. There we go. All right, so now we're going to fold this in half, bone fold it. I don't know where my bone folder is. All right, now we're going to add in with dimensionals our sentiment, and we're going to do our cakes. See, so these cakes are already connected as one, so that just makes it quick and easy. You don't have to do a whole lot. Let's see, I think I'm going to put that one there. And I'm going to go ahead and put one here just because I want it stable. And I'm going to put that one there. All right, probably a few more than I needed, but you know me by now to know I don't like wobbly things. So then we're going to do this right here like that, and this is over here like that. So there we've added a little to the card. We've done it as design, but we just added a little bit to it. Okay, you can put more or less on there. You could do a whole line there or a whole line up there. Whatever you want to do, it just adds a little something to it. You're using the stamps, you're using the inks that you have. Remember, if you don't have the Petal Pink, go ahead and use the ink that comes with it. It will all coordinate. All right, so let's go ahead and again, in our Lost Lagoon, we're going to go ahead and use that Wishing You Another Year as Sweet as You. And we've got another cake that's a little different that we can put on the inside. All right, because like I said, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. All right. Okay, so there is card 2. All right, let's do another one. All right, still keeping it simple, still keeping it quick, but changing them up a little bit because you'll be able to make more if you want. All right, so let's do this one of the blue ones. We're going to go ahead and stamp this first. Now this is this card, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So it is the Wishing You Another Year as Sweet as You. I'm going to look and see because we're using that one on the inside. Let's see, sending you happy birthday wishes. I think we'll go with that one. And, oh, I don't have another smaller one. Time to clean some. All right. Here we go. The Let's Eat Cake. I'm just going to lay that over there. I'll show you later how I put them all back so I can make sure that I get and keep all of them. All right, so we're going to turn this around. And we want this one in the middle. There you go. Sending you happy birthday wishes. All right, now what we want to do is we're going to take this and we're going to emboss it. All right, so I have, oh, where'd they go? I just had them here. Where'd they go? Oh Lord, there they are. I'm like, wait a second. All right, so these are the Glass and Gardens embossing folders. Oh boy. And I'm going to go ahead and use the flower one. And we're going to do the flower one right up the center. Let's see. Embossing folders 1 and 3. I think that means 4 and 3. 4 and 1. Oh, let's find out. I don't remember, but there was a bit of a different one. Here we go. Let's see if this is the right one. No. Oh. It's been a while since I've used this. All right, hold on. Hold on. Let's see. 1 and 3. Let's see if that works. There we go. It is 1 and 3. I know for the regular die cutting, they had to change the sandwich, and then that gets me confused because I don't have it labeled on there. I probably should label it on there. All right, we're going to put that together. And so now we have this embossed, and we're going to add that to our card. So let's go ahead and pretend that I'm using my bone folder like a good girl instead of my nails. My nail tech from way back when would have had, she would have had a fit. She said, nails are jewels, not tools. So there were times when, yeah, she'd get mad at me because she could tell I was using it as a tool. All right, so we're doing this one here, but of course we're dressing it up because we changed the background a little bit on there. All right, so we're gonna add some adhesive on the back. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my green glue because I have it out and it's working. And I trust I did not just jinx myself. We're gonna, no, I think we're gonna leave it like that. Nope, we're gonna turn it around. Here we go. We're gonna center that there. All right, I like how that looks. See, you can just change it up and then you don't feel like you're just following the card. All right, so we're gonna put this on dimensionals. Here we go. We're gonna put this on dimensionals. Whoa. All right, dimensionals. Keeps flipping back. That's one thing when you use your fingers instead of your take your pick tool, you always have that chance of it flipping back. And I'm going to go ahead and do 3 because, well, because it's me and I don't want any sagging. Yes, there could be sagging there, but I'm not going to get that worried about it as long as the main course, the main area is. So we're going to do that. See, and there's flowers on the cake and everything. So this flower background totally works. All right. Then where's our sentiment? Ah. All right, then we're going to put our sentiment down here. So we're going to put that on dimensionals again. Or as well, not again. Pop those off. It's pretty long, so I used the 3. We're going to put that right across the bottom, like that. And then this little flower is going to go over here, and we're just going to use a little bit of glue for that. All right. So there you go. Man, it's gotten really dark outside, but it's snowing and it's sticking, so yay! All right, so here we go. Here is our card. So just a little bit dressed up by running it through that embossing folder, and it just added that little background to it. Doesn't that look great? I'm loving it. All right, so again, we're going to do the same sentiment on the inside because I really am liking it. And then this time, since we have pie in there instead, I'm just going to add, oh, I just saw them a little bit ago, some macaroons, or macarons. Oh, come on, where are they? I just saw them. Here we go. Oh no, is that a, I don't think this is a macaron, but that's okay. I'm going to use it if I can find it. Here they are. We're going to use these little macarons in here. And we'll just do a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to put those right there. All right. So there you go. Let's close this up before we drop a finished card in it, because that would not be nice. All right. I had someone do that at one of my classes. I accidentally dropped a card in the ink, so I have to redo the back of it, but that's okay. All right, so there's that one. What do you think? Let me know. Do you like the embossing? Do you think it should have stayed plain? On this one, do you like the stamping? Should it have stayed plain? How would you do it? What would you do differently so that your cards could turn out a little different each time? All right, this next one, I think we're going to do this one. This card is this one right here. All right, and so for this one, we're actually going to do some more embossing. We're going to emboss this time with that other pattern, and I'm mainly using my mini just because it's right here. And let's see, 1 and 3, and we're going to use the other embossing folder from the card, or from the glass, what is it? Glass and Gardens. So we use the flowers. This time we're going to use this pattern. All right, so 1 and 3, we're going to put this in here like that. So this time we're also doing another one, but we're just doing a little piece. All right, but you know what? I think we're going to do both of them. All right, this one is great. It's a fun pattern, but I think we're going to do the flowers on this one as well. Actually, I want something that covers the whole thing. So I'm going to run over to my machine real quick, and I'm going to run this through a different embossing folder. There we go. All right, so this one, I ended up running it through the beautiful pattern embossing folder so that it also had a fun pattern on it. All right, because you can mix your patterns and they work well together. All right, so let's do that. We're just changing it up here. So this card, we need to fold it. Use our bone folder. and this card goes this way. It is this card right here, but again, we have changed this up. All right, so we're going to glue this on. And because it's embossed, you want to make sure to have just a smidge extra glue than what you might normally do. All right. I mean, you can even emboss the front of the cards if you want. All right. And then this one will go here like that. And again, it is embossed, so you want to make sure to have plenty of glue so it holds. All right. Go up a little like that. So one kind of has the diamondy area going one way, and one has it the other way. All right, but they work together beautifully. All right, and then we're going to pop this up on dimensionals because, well, because that's what it's calling for, and we like dimensionals. We like how it gives that lift, and then it gives that depth to the card. All right, that is the point of dimensionals. Give it a little bit of depth, so it's not just, make it a little more 3D, so it's not just a flat card. All right, here we go. And I have to tell you, I had not planned on doing the embossing when I first started, but I like how it's coming out. All right, let's go ahead and stamp. Now for this one, it is calling for Time to Celebrate. Whew. Where's my cards? Here we go, or my stamps. Time to Celebrate. All right, and block. Just lost my train of thought for that quick second. All right, here we go. Bring in our Lost Lagoon. Time to Celebrate. You just want to kind of hold it there long enough for that ink to soak into the paper. All right, so I'm not pushing when I pause. I'm just letting that ink really soak into the paper to pick up that color. All right, and then we're going to add that over here like that. And there you have that card. Now, any of these cards that we've done, any of these cards can all be cut in half. All right, so you could totally cut them in half, and then you'll have two cards. So say I wanted to cut this one in half. All right, oh, let's put this, hold on, I guess we didn't finish this card. We need to do our inside, getting ahead of myself. Wishing you, whoops, wrong one. Although that one would have worked too. Time to Celebrate. Wishing you another year as sweet as you. And then, let's see, we will add kind of like, you know what, there's a teacup on this one. So we're going to add, hold on, what do we have here? We have lots to choose from. I think we're going to add flowers to that one. And I kind of liked how I did the macarons up instead of doing cake down in the corner. Come on, you were just working for me. Don't stop now. All right, I'm gonna put this up there because I like how that looked with something closer to it versus down here in the corner. All right, so there we go. And of course the flowers coordinate. Let's do this before I drop something in it. And then we'll put this one in here. All right, so now let's go back and talk about this one. You could do, well, no, we're gonna leave this one because I kind of like it as is, and because we've already done that on the inside, we'll do a different one. Let's grab one out of here because the last one I have is actually spoken for. All right. Whew. All right, here we go. Got some stuff in there. All right, so this one, we're gonna say, you know what? We need more cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down, and you want to cut it, and I like to cut it to the smallest so I have as little waste as possible. So I'm going to cut it to 4 1/8. So I'm basically cutting off that, and then 5 3/8. So that way I have just this little bit of waste, not much. And then I want to cut this one, putting the score line over here at 4 1/8. And all I have is this little bit of waste, and 5 3/8. All right, so my waste from this card is very minimal, considering I get 2 cards out of it. All right, so now, whoop, here we go. I'm just going to do one of them for you, but you would then have 2 Lost Lagoons, and you'd be able to glue that on there. So let's go ahead and do that. And you could run this through an embossing folder, which I'm not going to do this time. But I would do an embossing folder, but I don't want to take the time to go find one right now because it's a larger one. I can't run it through the mini machine, which is why if you don't have a machine and you're thinking you want to get a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I highly recommend the large one because then there are no limitations. You can use any of the embossing folders that you want. All right, so then you would glue this onto your other one after you embossed it. And then we have, so now we're doing this one here, but we're able to do 2 of them because we put a new backing on it. You could also cut it to 4 by 5 1/4 if you wanted more of the cardstock base to show through. This one is For You. I'm going to do Let's Eat Cake because I really like that one. Because I like cake, as I've said. All right, here we go. We got to wash, running out of blocks. I don't have enough blocks over here, the smaller ones, and the bigger ones I find challenging to use when I have just a little stamp. So we're going to pick that one back up. We're going to come over here with it, bring this over, and it is stamped here at the bottom. All right. And then, you know what? Oops, before I go, the For You, I'm going to actually use that. All right. I'll just use one of my big ones. And then I usually put it up in a corner. Okay, For You. It was backwards. So I'm going to do it on the envelope. And I'm going to put For You. And then I'll write the address there. All right, and that way the person who's getting it, it's just a little extra attention. All right, then we're going to glue this down to our paper. You could put it on dimensionals if you wanted to, but then you start getting a little bit too much lift, and then the post office doesn't really like that. See, this is really calling for being embossed. It's still pretty. I still like it, but I would definitely emboss that piece versus having it plain there. All right, so let's go ahead and put one down there, and we'll do one over here, and I'll just do one over there. Aren't you surprised? I only used 3. I could have used 4. And then we'll have it like that. And then you would have to put on the inside, you would have to put your white and then stamp it. I don't have any handy. Do I have white handy? I don't have any white inserts handy at the moment. So you would put in your white. You could do like 3.5 by 4 3/4 in here. Do your sentiment. Do a little piece of cake or whatever out of there. All right, but this is a nice way because you would get 2 cards out of one of these card bases. You could totally emboss this. That would just add a little oomph to your card, a little, what some people say, zhuzh. I have a hard time with that word. I think oomph, ooh la la, oh wow, whatever you want to call it. All right, but there's a way to extend it. You could cut all these card bases out. You probably would have enough extra ephemera in there to make all the cards, or you could add some of the other extra ephemera or do die cuts or something like that. So we've got that possibility as well. All right, so let's go ahead and do one more card. And this one we're going to turn into a little fun fold. So we're going to fold this in half. Now the thing is, when you have card bases that are already scored, then you have to do something where you use that score line. If you don't, the card is compromised unless you put some cardstock on the inside. So like if you were to do what they call a gatefold and you were to fold these 2 in, you would want some cardstock to stabilize that score line. But we've already got the score line, so I figure, you know, why not? And I folded it the wrong way. We're going to fold it this way so that the white is the outside. My apologies. And then we're going to fold this back. And we're just going to make a simple Z card or a Z card, depending on where you are located. All right. And then we're going to just score that one, burnish it really good. All right. And then here is your Z card or a Z card. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take this, and again, if you wanted, you could totally do the happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday down the side or this side, however you wanted, if you wanted to do that again with this paper. For this one, we're going to center this here, but we're only going to glue on this side, so when we open it, we've got this. All right, so we're only going to glue on this side. So what I like to do is kind of put my finger there, and then glue, do my zigzag line and glue it down right there like that. All right, and that way you hope that it doesn't sploosh out over here. All right, now this does have a delicate border. So the delicate border, you just want to be careful not to abuse it. All right, so this card, where is my, here it is. So this card is this one right here. We're just turning it into a Z fold instead of just a flat card. So we're going to still use all the same things. And this time, instead of having them all connected, they're all separate. So we're going to flip everything over and do dimensionals on them. So this one is a, requires a mini dimensional. Oop, just knocked over all my stamps that have not been cleaned. We'll put a mini dimensional on here, and then we'll use our regular dimensionals on the rest of it. So I'm just going to kind of put these on here like that. All right. Here we go. Haven't stamped on that yet, so don't put a dimensional on it. Here we go with that. So we're going to start with our taller one. So, and it's going to go over here to this side. All right, and then we're going to, whoop, nope. The next one is this cake. So you have to look when you're looking at these, if you're following the pictures, you want to pay attention to the layering. What's in front of what? So whatever's in back and have layers over it, that's what you start with first. So then this one is the next one. And then you hope that you put your dimensional in the right place, which I seem to have just in the right place. I did not pay attention to that beforehand. So always think about that beforehand. I got lucky, and same with this one. I got lucky. And with this one, I did think about it. With the others, I didn't so much. All right. So there is the front of our card. We'll open it like that. Let's go ahead and stamp the time to celebrate is this one. And since we've got it out, we'll go ahead and use it. I think there's only one stamp we haven't used. And that is the happiest birthday. So we're going to pull that out. I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to kind of condition it and take off all that stickiness. And then, and the one thing I wanted to also point out, notice I always put it on the block before I do this. I don't want to put my finger oils on the back side of it because then it won't stick as much, and I want it to stick to my blocks. But I do like to kind of condition the front of it. Then what I want to do is I want to find something that will go on the inside here. You could write on these lines, but I think having a little space or caption, and if I recall correctly, I think we might use that one too. If I recall correctly, there was something else in here, yeah, that we could use. So there's this border that goes on one of the cards, and then there's these that goes on that you can use on the cards too. But like I said, I have lots of extras. There was tons of extras. So we're going to see, is this going to work? Ooh. Nope, I don't think I like how that looks. Let's see what else we've got in there. Oh, we've got that one. We could possibly use sentiment strips, other pieces, that. Looks like I have no more. I was gonna say, if I had another one of those pink ones, I would use it, but I think, hadn't thought of that when I planned this out. No, I don't think I like how that looks, but we could use this on the inside, and it would just be a little smaller. So we'd have to center it back here and then make sure that it's covered, and it is. All right, so on this one, we're going to stamp the happiest birthday. No, we're not. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Ooh, we could, here we go. We could see. This is, so I'm looking right here. This is right there. So if we put this up here, we could stamp happiest birthday there. So let's go ahead and do that. And then this could be for writing on. And we can just have a nice decorative piece inside for writing on. So I want to make sure to line it up to where it's above that. And I do have it a little to the left, but I'd rather have it a little to the left than too far to the right. So now we're going to stamp this. Make sure it stamps nicely. Yes, it does. Nice and clear. And we're going to stamp this right there. All right. So that's going to close. It's going to be hidden. And then you can open it up. Let's put... I'm not going to put more cake on there. I think I want to get this out of the way before I drop something in it. And then let's see what little things. So we could do a little cup. And what other fun things are there in here? Lots of fun things. Ooh, we haven't used one of these. Let's do one of these, because those are cherries, and the cake on the front have strawberries. Oh, there's little strawberries, so we'll use those as well. I think we'll skip the cup on this one. See, there's so many things that you could play with here. Oh, so many ideas, so many options. It's kind of like the mix and match, and I love it. All right, so we'll do the time to celebrate, and that goes on dimensionals. And that goes, where's my paper? Yeah, that goes down here. All right. And then on the front, to kind of tie this in, we're going to, not on the front, on the inside, to tie this in, we're going to add some little strawberries right there. And you can see how tiny those are. So it's time for tweezers and our wonderful glue that has been working quite well for me today. Thank you. Put that there. And then I'm going to go ahead. Oh, there's no purple on there. And I grabbed the purple one because, you know, that's my first grabby grab. It's purple. I'm always drawn to the purple stuff first. All right, so let's see. I think there were other things. Yes, there were other colors. Let's go ahead and go with the red and yellow one. Or not red, strawberry slush and yellow, which is Darling Duckling. Then we'll go ahead and put that on here too. All right, so there we go. Time to celebrate. Now you can turn almost any one of these into a Z fold. All right, so we could have turned that one into a Z fold, this one into a Z fold, this one into a Z fold. This one you could turn into an easel fold if you wanted to. And this one as well could have been an easel fold. So some of these could be turned into an easel fold, and an easel fold is just the reverse of this, so that it stands up this way. All right. I chose not to do that. I decided a Z fold was the easiest, simplest way to turn this card into a little bit more of a pizzazz card. So there you go. And just think about what you want in here, because obviously it kind of made a difference. You might have liked how it looked with the little white edge around it. It just wasn't for me, but you might have thought, yeah, that looks great. So then you could totally do that. All right, so where's my final envelope? This one, I tend to stick this one into an envelope like this instead of doing the half, especially because of this delicate edge. I'm going to pop it in this way. All right. So we have 1, 2, we'll pretend 3, 4, because you could make more. 4, 5, 6, and 7. This one was just copying it. So you have the possibility just here on what we did today of 7 different cards. And you can do this with any kit. You can change up the fold, you can add embossing, you can cut it apart when it has the double sides. So, and you can add stamping. You can do any of this with any of the kits. I just know that birthdays are coming. We all need birthday cards because we're starting a whole new year. Unless you have, I still have 4 birthday people this month left, and then it starts over in January. So now I've got 6 cards here, not including this one because it's not done, but I've got 6 cards here that I could already address and stamp and get ready for mailing. So what I do is I address it, I stamp it, put a stamp on it, you know, the postage stamp. So address label, my address label, their address label, or write it out, postage stamp, and then I put a post-it note on it saying the date it needs to be mailed, so that I know what day I need to get that in the mail. And that's how I used to do it, and that's what I'm working on going back to, because I have, you know, team members, family members, friends that I need to mail things out to. And so this is going to be the way that I do it, by having the cards made, getting them addressed, return label, postage stamp, and a post-it note as to what day I need to mail that card so they get it in time for their birthday or before their birthday. Sometimes I just send it at the end of the month before, and then it doesn't matter when, because they could celebrate their birthday the whole month if they want. But usually I do at least a week in advance where I get it in the mail. So that's what I'm working on going back to. So have a look at these. Play with the kit, play with any of the kits you already own, and see how could you dress those cards up a little bit so you don't get bored with them, and so that you have some playing time. All right, so thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Sorry I went a little bit longer than I thought, but we got a lot of cards done with a lot of ideas. So take care. Have a very Merry Christmas this week. I wish you the best. I trust you have fun with family and friends, or however you celebrate this time, and I will see you again next week with another video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.